Guys, we need to talk. Specifically, we need to talk Pokemon Go. I adore the game. I still love the game, but we need changes and we need them sooner rather than later. If you're a big fan of the game like myself, you've probably been playing it since day one. You probably have almost completed your Pokedex. And you're probably thinking, when are new things coming? Well, we're going to be sitting down and talking about the exact things that we need, why they haven't come out yet, and what we should be expecting in the future. The guys, Niantic Labs, that have designed and developed the game, we need them to get their butts in gear and get this stuff to us as soon as possible, because as much as we love the game, a lot of people that picked up the game and played it for a little bit have dropped the game since and may never return if there aren't more updates and more reasons to pick up Pokemon Go and play it. So, I've actually just come back from recording a Pokemon Go episode, and I had all these thoughts in my mind. I had to put them into a video and talk to you guys, because as much as I'm frustrated and I want updates to come out, I'm actually also very excited for the future. So first of all, what are the guys themselves, Niantic Labs, the guys that are making the game, saying about the future of Pokemon Go? Well, when the game came out, they said it only had a 10th of the features they had prepared for Pokemon Go, which is good news for us because it means there's still so much more to add into the game, which is really exciting, and we're going to be covering a lot of that stuff here today. They openly said they plan to support the game for years and years to come, but my biggest concern is that people won't be playing the game even in a few months. Even now they've stopped playing the game unless we have the support and the updates that we need. Now obviously I'm still playing the game, but I want to know from you guys right here, right now. Leave a comment down below. Are you playing the game still, playing it loads? Are you playing the game, just playing it a little bit? Or have you completely put the game down? Let me know how you're currently standing at Pokemon Go in the comment section. It could be a great way of gauging how much you guys are still playing Pokemon Go. So if you guys want to help out, all you're going to do is drop this video a like, share it with your friends, share it around, and get the word out that this game still has so much more potential. It definitely is not dead, and there's so much more exciting things coming to Pokemon Go. So let's kick it off. What's the biggest reason that we haven't had huge updates? We've had the buddy system, we've had Pokemon Go Plus, but that was meant to come out when the game first released, and even that was delayed. The biggest issue is releasing the game worldwide. As you know, the game didn't come out straight away across the world. The servers just could not handle it, and it came out in Australia first, and then it gradually came out across the world. But there's still a lot of big places that don't have the game at all. India, China, and many more are yet to have the game. I still get tweets from a lot of you guys saying, we want the game, and that's the biggest reason that these updates aren't coming out as soon as we want them. Niantic is still spending all of their time releasing this game across the world so everyone else can play it. But let's jump forward a little bit. The game's out everywhere. What should we expect? What do we need from Pokemon Go? Well, first of all, no one can complete their Pokedex at the moment. Legendaries aren't available. Ditto isn't available. We need them to be released. We thought we were going to get Legendaries a while ago. Has not happened yet. Niantic need to work out how they're going to release Legendaries, how they're going to release Ditto, so we can complete our 151 Pokedex for Generation 1 before we even think about anything else. Now, special events is a good way of doing it. That was how they showed it in the trailer for Pokemon Go that was released almost a year ago now. So going to specific landmarks or being a certain level to activate that legendary event, so it's not just complete chaos when legendaries spawn in, but it needs to be done in a manner that means it's not complete chaos, but people can still get hold of these legendaries and fill up their Pokedex because we all want to do it. The Master Ball. We're still waiting upon that legendary ball that will always capture a Pokemon. We know it's coded into the game, but we haven't seen it yet. And for legendaries coming out at some point in the future, we will definitely want ourselves Master Balls if we want to try and guarantee their capture. We need to have these in the game. I'm sure they'll be very hard to get. In the Pokemon game series, you would normally just give them one Master Ball, so you have to choose a capture very, very carefully. But at least we had them in the game. We still don't have them in Pokemon Go. We need Master Balls. Now, diving into the game mechanics a little bit more, we need a mass transfer system. A small update, people have been asking it since the game came out. We need an ability to select as many Pokemon as we want and get rid of them in batch, so we're not wasting time going through every single one of those Pokemon trying to transfer them to get those candies. Trading is a big one, and Niantic have said it was one of their priorities to push out as an update as soon as possible. This was months and months ago. This was back in July, and even now, no word of it at all. Obviously, trading is really important, mainly for the regional Pokemon. I will not get a Kangaskhan or a Farfetch'd unless I travel very, very far. I'm fortunate to have lots of Tauruses when I went to LA, which is amazing, and also Ohio Ohio. I've got Mr. Mimes from being here in the UK. But trading would be amazing if other people come across the world and allow me to get those regional Pokemon, allow everyone to get regional Pokemon without having to travel a long distance to get those very hard Pokemon. Now, you guys may not know this, but there's actually Pokestop upgrades in the work, which allow you to add additional effects to Pokestops rather than just lures. One of them being a Pokemon healing center, so you can go up to it and heal your Pokemon without having to use items. Not the most useful thing in the world, but Niantic Labs did say they had more ideas for Pokestops. I think this is a great idea. It allows people to go out, congregate around Pokestops, and it's more so than just going past and swiping it once and leaving it alone. Obviously, Pokestops with us loaded together, putting lures down is amazing, but more features for those Pokestops would be really useful, and it means there's even more reason to hit those Pokestops. Now, one thing that I'm really excited for is breeding. Breeding has so many possibilities, and I'll go into all of them very briefly. So, breeding means you take a Ditto, and almost any Pokemon is breedable, and then allow you to take that Pokemon and get an egg, which would then hatch. So, for example, a Ditto and Charmander, you could breed a little Charmander, hatch it out of an egg. Or you could get a male and a female Charmander, breed them, and get a Charmander from an egg. It's really useful, and that could be the reason why Ditto isn't available yet, is because they're working out how to include Ditto through the breeding system, because Dittos are so important for that. So not only does it like to get Pokemon from eggs and breed Pokemon that we really need, like Dratinis or Charmanders, but it also is a great way of getting IV values from the parent Pokemon and making a really strong Pokemon from eggs. So if we have a really strong Ditto, which has great IVs in, say, attack and HP, and then take a Charmander, which has amazing IVs in defense, we could breed it and potentially hatch a Pokemon that has perfect IVs across the board. It's used a lot in the Pokemon games, would be really useful if we're looking at those IVs like I always do in Pokemon Go. So breeding would be a huge update that everyone would love. It would add another layer to the game and another reason to hatch more eggs. So we've talked a lot about Gen 1. I want to jump into Generation 2, my friends. It's all I'm talking about, it's all I'm thinking about, and I cannot wait for the day that Generation 2 Pokemon drop in Pokemon Go. It will be huge. There's a lot of things to talk about. It needs to be done properly, and I'm hoping it's sooner rather than later. There's no word as to when this is going to happen, but let's talk about some of the things that will be amazing through Pokemon Go with Generation 2. So, Generation 2 will add in 100 additional Pokemon, making the total from 151 to 251. There's amazing Pokemon in there. If you know Generation 2, it's awesome. I absolutely love it. But it also means that the spawning system will have to be worked out very carefully. If we take, say, there's a million spawn spots in the world at the moment, if we then throw in an additional 100 Pokemon, the chance of getting all those original 151 Pokemon is severely reduced, which means rare Pokemon become even rarer, and those brand new 100 Pokemon become quite tough to find. Basically, you're squeezing more Pokemon into the same number of spawners. It makes finding Pokemon harder. What they could do is introduce additional spawners. I think this would be the best way of doing it. So the chances of finding those original 151 stay the same, but there's then additional spawn spots added in for the 100 new Generation 2 Pokemon. There's a lot of thought that needs to go into this, and, you know, there's a lot riding on Niantic's shoulders to get this right, but it needs to happen. We all want it. So obviously, with the introduction of Generation 2 means the introduction of brand new starter Pokemon. Cyndaquil, Chikorita, and Totodile. I love all of them, and when Generation 2 is added in, I believe we should be able to choose one of them, just like we did with Generation 1, and have them brought straight into our squad. It's an awesome experience, and I think it will revitalize the whole player base and bring people back into the app. I just want it to happen sooner rather than later to maintain as many of the player base as possible and keep people as interested in Pokemon Go, because the second generation is honestly awesome. Now, we talked a lot about breeding, and I mentioned it linked in well with Generation 2, and it really does. In Generation 2, we have baby-specific Pokemon. These are Pokemon that can only be hatched from parent Pokemon. So, for example, we've got Magby. 2 Magbars will make a Magby baby Pokemon, or we also have a Smoochum. If you take 2 Jinxes, it'll make a baby Smoochum. So there's all these Pokemon in Generation 2 which need breeding implemented to get them. It'll open up a whole new set of eggs that we want to hatch, and it'll also mean that there'll be a new set of egg Pokemon to hatch with the introduction of Generation 2. I'll be talking about that in a video very soon, so I'm super excited about it, and it means even more excitement in opening up those 2, 5, and 10 kilometer eggs. It adds in the possibility that with the baby Pokemon, there'll be different number of kilometers for the egg types when they are hatched, which is very interesting as well. But basically, it just means breeding is necessary for Generation 2, and it means even more egg hype when we get those bad boys hatching. So what I want you guys to take away from this video is that there's lots of very cool things coming to Pokemon Go. Maybe you put the app down, maybe you're still watching my videos. That's all good. As long as you're still interested in it, I will keep you guys updated when this new stuff comes out, because I want to keep the excitement going, and the excitement I got when the app first came out, I want it to be brought back to life again with the introduction of Generation 2, and I want there to be even more reasons for me to pick up my phone every single day and play the game. Breeding, trading, new eggs, Generation 2, new Pokestops, legendaries, and Master Balls. There's even more stuff that can come to Pokemon Go, and it is so exciting. So guys, as I said at the beginning of this video, I've literally just finished recording a Pokemon Go full-on vlog. Do not worry, that'll be out very soon. But guys, I just felt like I had to bring this video to you all to share my thoughts and feelings currently of Pokemon Go. So as I said, leave a comment down below. Are you still playing the game, or have you put it down and you're not interested anymore? I want to know what you guys are saying. So thank you so much for watching this video. Full-on Pokemon vlogs will be out very soon. Do not worry. You guys are amazing. I love Pokemon Go. Hopefully you guys are still loving Pokemon Go, and there's awesome things around the corner.